West Side. It's time for the Greg Show, starring Gregory Struss. I'm Scotty Joe Vegas, inviting you to stay tuned for the next 30 minutes because you'll see Greg at his vulnerable point with no guest and no enabling staff. And now, ladies and gentlemen, a man that I've been around with a few times and done a little Greg dancing, Mr. Gregory Struss.
Thank you. Welcome, 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 and 1,000 welcomes to you. Yes.
Rock and roll.
How did the kids say it today? Tonight we're kind of chill. Is that what you say? We're kind of chill.
10 years ago.
From the studios of. Anyway, I got to get my wits together here. Anyway, welcome to the Greg Show, emanating here from Studio 688 North here in beautiful Elmhurst.
All right, love it.
And I don't know what you can really say about Elmhurst because there used to be this, and I don't really like used to be's because down the street there used to be a really big car dealer, which no longer exists. That was empty when we started the show out here several years ago. And then there was a theme park, not a theme park, but a water park hotel called the Waverton, and now that's gone. Now, do you think that somebody, you know, we're kind of like reaching out internationally here and would like somebody from, let's pick out
Spain.
Someone from Spain to come here. And maybe we can come up with like a Spain version of the Waverton.
All right.
And that would be kind of fun. So
a lot of sideburns, a lot of iron, a lot of
iron, a lot of sideburns, a lot of swords, kind of some spice, and a little bit of
accent, a lot of tango.
Tango.
Hey.
Yes, last tango in Elmhurst. Anyway, I want to welcome you here to the Greg Show, otherwise known as a blip, not a blimp, in the world of media-tainment.
Media-tainment.
Yes. There, did you see it?
Yes, I did.
Did you feel it?
I just passed it.
Yeah. Just like CNN's coverage of that missing airplane.
Where is that plane?
Gone. That is amazing, isn't it?
Yes.
Don Lemon was on CNN. Don Lemon from CNN, also a Chicago native, used to be on the NBC station here, was on The View the other day with Barbara Walters, and she's giving him a hard time about CNN's coverage of that missing Malaysian airplane. Now, I don't want to say that Barbara Walters is out of touch, because she has covered stories about aviation in the past, including having the very first interview with the Wright brothers. So, Barbara Walters is retiring this year. She's retiring.
All right.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
She's 84, which means that she. What is that? When you have you can't.
You look good behind the curtain tonight. Look at that color. Look at that jacket. Look at there.
It's my Fraser Thomas look.
You look like you blend right in.
My Fraser Thomas look.
You're like Jesus coming out of Merrill.
WGN. I don't know what Fraser Thomas was on
Family Classics,
Garfield Goose, and then he was on on Bozo's Circus for years. And I really don't know what his talent was, but he was so good at what he did that it must have been his talent.
I think it was drinking scotch.
Maybe that was.
With Cookie the Clown.
Anyway, man, winter is finally over,
Cookie.
but you wouldn't know it this week, right?
Oh, no.
And you know how I can tell when winter is over here in Chicago? It's when all the men from Boys Town migrate north to Andersonville. That's when you know it's spring.
That was a joke.
Yes, I love spring because, warm weather.
It's sprung.
Warm weather, you get to take a run in the park, and time moves forward, unlike Illinois' economy. Thank you. I don't know. Do you like it without the audience?
I kind of do because we can talk about them.
Yeah,
they can't beat us up or beat us out to the car.
And we were talking about this missing plane. Have you been watching CNN in the middle of the night? They now have breaking news, and nothing has broke. Nothing has broke about this missing plane. It's been missing for what, like a month now? Mm-hmm. And the Chinese government is saying that it crashed into the ocean. But not to worry, because that missing plane is going to be on the next season of Dancing with the Stars. So it's all...
That'd be a hell of a show.
Oh, good, yes. We're freeforming it tonight.
Freeforming it.
I don't know, we're freeforming it. I don't think Fraser Thomas would have freeformed it back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and today when he was doing Family Classics. But all I'm missing is the little insignia from the Garfield Goose.
Yes. We do belong to his college.
Which one?
The College of Chins. Hi. Sorry, for you people that do have chins out there, I apologize.
I loved it because several years ago I did some work with Andy Matran, who was Professor Andy on The Bozo Show.
Really?
So he helped me produce my voiceover reel, which I haven't used yet, and spent a pretty penny on it. And so he was talking about, we would do the session, get into the session, and we started talking about The Bozo Show. He says, Greg, you know so much about that show. He says, you know more than what I know about that show. And it was a great show, and I think the show was still good after Frasier left.
Was the meter still running while I was saying this to you? And he just kept on going, oh, that's great, it's fantastic.
I'm going to give you a discount because, we spent 3 hours talking and about an hour working. So anyway, we have a fabulous show tonight.
All right. Yeah.
Getting through it ever so slowly. We're going to do taboo topics tonight. Every show out there always has hot topics, things that they talk about that are supposedly politically correct and things that are going on the news. Tonight we're going to be doing some taboo topics, things that people talk about but not necessarily expound on.
They don't
television.
talk about it in public on TV.
No, but it's nothing dirty. That's why we have the cleaning lady here, and so that's about it. And plus some other things
Mr.
as
Mood
well.
Swings coming aboard, and Mr. Addict, and we're gonna have lots of segments.
And anyway, I'm Greg. This is the Greg Show.
I think Mr. Addict worked.
Mr. Addict.
Where you going? I'm going to the bar!
We're reinventing community television from the west side of Chicago, and we'll be back in just a moment.
All right.
Thank you.
Rock and roll, baby.
The unknown teacher doing the breakdance.
If you want it right, don't ride the white horse. If you want it right, don't ride the white bitch. White horse. Don't ride the white horse. White horse. Don't ride the white horse. No, no, no.
Scotty Joe Vegas. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Glad to be here.
Now, you had a rough trip here, from what I understand.
Oh,
You have
yes.
the big truck outside.
Big truck and trailer, all loaded up, and almost spilled her up on 94 today.
And you're a pro.
I'm a
so
pro.
when you came in, you're a little shook up.
The balance, we took half the load off, and then I should have reshifted, and I cut corners just like every American, and almost lost it right there. I almost pee-peed him today. Or poop-peed him.
How do you know that you're losing?
When the trailer goes like this, that's when you know that's party's over.
I didn't get a look, but what's in the back today?
Wood. 1-inch wood wedges, and a couple of donuts left over from the stop where I have to implode with sugar because of my low self-esteem. But I'm back now. What happened? Okay.
Isn't it horrible? I mean, this winter, the winter of 2014 has been long, and as we're taping this in April,
Yes.
it snowed like 2 or 3 inches last night.
Yes.
And so we were not, people are like emailing me, which I was surprised, and asking, well, I haven't seen the show. And we've lost like how many weeks because of weather and other kinds of stuff.
There has been so many people that have watched this show. Pearl in Tinley Park, and all the people in Winfield, Missouri, I'm a celebrity down there. They like me down there. It's fantastic. I haven't got a lady out of it, but what are you going to do?
Where do they watch? They watch on YouTube.com. That's right, by dialing up the Greg Show with search words Greg Struss Show, YouTube.com, or on Vimeo.com. There's some older shows.
Or if I get you like in a wedding setting where you're like, look under Scotty Joe Vegas, just Google it and you'll get to the Greg Show.
Yeah. So it's interesting.
It is very interesting.
We don't know who's out there. We're kind of like reaching Spain tonight.
Yes.
We want someone from Spain to come to Elmhurst and invest in that Waverton Hotel. And
Yes.
Because I think that could be great not only for the citizens and the community of Elmhurst, Illinois, but also would feed people into our studio audience, and that
Yes.
perhaps the Greg Show could become a tourist site for, much like the shows at NBC
yes,
Universal in Los
absolutely.
Angeles.
And then there are other shows of the great Comcast family here, like
You have the sports shows,
Oh,
you have the
yes.
community
Absolutely.
connection, you have...
the workout show,
yeah, but we want to be the show of Elmhurst, Illinois, and we want to be fed in
the
cross
cream
promotion.
off of the top,
Right.
taken in and into your glucose diabetes mojo.
Something like that.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
It's okay. We're in first gear right now. We're still trying to get her started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, so many shows like The View, you have The Talk, you have Wendy Williams.
Oh, I like her. I do.
She's
That kind of
cool.
woman. I mean, she's like,
Yeah,
she's a little thick. I like that.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
somebody
they
that has
all
to put
do
a saddle on.
they all do this thing called Hot Topics.
Yes.
And I said we ought to do taboo topics.
Taboo.
Because there's things that are going on that people are not really addressing, and ways in which, because as I'm going through my, finding myself all over again in my mid-40s, I say to myself, what is it that you want to do with this show? I mean, what do you really want to do with this show? And that's what I'm trying to figure out. What do I really want to do with this show?
What do you really want to do
Well,
with the
because
show?
everybody's doing comedy, everybody's doing satire, or I really think that as we're getting into this new era of
And we're older.
We're older too.
So that means we got to go a different road.
And with David Letterman retiring, which I'm very sad about, I think gone is going to be that day of what has he been? It's when you're I can't think of the word.
Pinnacle.
Well, no, like his subversive humor and in-your-face humor. I think we're shifting to a time now where
He's corny and everybody else is cool.
everybody wants touchy-feely kind
Yeah,
of stuff
yeah.
and
He's not
lots of
giving
love and such. But when I heard about David Letterman retiring, that really made me think, because he's been on television since we were in 8th grade. And you take a look at all the things that you've gone through and all the things that I've gone through in my life, and someone like David Letterman, you kind of take for granted. He was always there, always on the air.
I liked him better when he was in the morning and he did his wacky stuff and talked about Indiana more than this guy that I know now. I enjoyed that as a kid. I think it was even younger than that, than 8th grade.
And so you take a look at how television and how media has changed and how everything has gotten very splintered. You take a look at ESPN and with their sports shows and how it came off of one segment in the news. You have the Weather Channel came off of the news. You have, the only thing I think we're not seeing on TV right now is like the commentary channel. I really think Addiction TV would be great.
Addiction TV here at Elmhurst.
That would be great because
Studio 5, welcome to Addiction.
Welcome to Addiction Now. But anyway, David Letterman, you see
you
a lot of
addicted?
the things that he did on his show with Stupid Pet Tricks. Now you see Animal Planet, and just a lot of the things that in popular culture that he's had something to do with. And I think when he leaves in the next year or so, that's definitely going to be the end of an era. And who knows what will come of that genre.
I'm going to sidebar to your obsession with that. To the little girl, the crocodile hunter's little girl, she's doing great. I saw that on TV the other day. I was like, man, I hope she's just as crazy as her dad.
So the crocodile hunter, the guy that passed away.
Yeah, the Australian guy. Yeah, his daughter looks like she's got the saddle and she's got the reins and looks like she's going to do good. I don't know where that came from, but it felt good.
Now, Aunt Jean,
Okay.
speaking of trendsetters, you guys ended up going to Vegas, and what was that like?
I don't remember. I think we went to California.
Oh, you went to California.
We went to California.
I mean, you took a trip recently.
We took a plane. We rode a train. It was great. Saw some nice people. Was, of course, out in the areas of, boy, I really didn't see that coming. What the heck? She's looking for a man. She wants a man to fall in her lap, and I hope she gets it. I really do, because that woman needs to love somebody. So we were supposed to go bag rice for Feed My Starving Children. She got sick with my cold, so I bagged the rice, and we fed 110 kids for a year. Feed My Starving Children. Go do it. It's great. You bag the rice, you carry the rice, you bang the box, you maybe meet a lady friend or two, just one. And the churches were all involved, and it was great.
Now, are you bagging the rice to meet the lady that you're going to marry for the rice for the wedding?
No, actually, I was going there because my heart told me to go there. So I went there, and, of course, the lady from the psychic said that Feed My Starving Children, that I'd be there. So I went there.
He started this tonight and was going to talk about, he was telling me a story about a young man in Wisconsin that we were talking about, and said that the little birdie would be flying into the window.
The little birdie would fly through the window
and
on
I
my
said,
shoulder.
please, why don't you just tell me about the story? And he wants to continue going into the great detail about this psychic. So when we come back, I want to find out what the psychic said,
Okay.
how this young man played into that, and then figure out what is going on with
Here it comes. Come on, I'm ready for you.
I want to figure out what's going on with this lady you were involved with, because we're not really known. We've been away from each other for a while, and I want you to go into detail. I want you to get real gritty, because we do have time for that tonight.
Are you saying that I can let it go? Are you saying
let
I
it
can
go.
just let him hit the floor?
Yeah, because maybe that's what we need to do.
All
Maybe
right.
that's what we need to
Okay,
do.
fine.
And we're going to find out more about what's going on with Scott after you take a look at this.
All right.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Bring in the doctor. Okay, we have returned, and we are talking with Scotty Joe Vegas.
Hello.
As we freeform the Greg Show here from Studio 688 North in the Comcast Center in Elmhurst, Illinois.
Elmhurst, Illinois.
Otherwise, what we call the west side of Chicago. Now, it's a lot different out here compared to the days we were doing shows in the south side of Chicago.
There was a lot more heat in that studio. Here it's more cold and distant and very dark and disturbing.
And this studio has
History.
And this was where I always wanted us to be, so isn't that kind of funny?
It's funny how it all winds
Yeah.
up this way.
Isn't it? So we were talking during the break. Spring is here.
Yes.
And relationships bud, and sometimes a bud, grows into the flower, and then the flower wilts away. What happened? Should we paint it a little bit? You were involved with somebody who had been incarcerated, otherwise known to some people in lay terms as a jailbird, which I don't think is really nice. So you met each other, had a good time.
We were told, or I was told 20 years ago that we would meet. She gave me her name. It was her name, and she said that there will be a jailbird in your life. And of course I laughed, and yes. So we painted the picture. This is what the psychic said 20 years ago.
All right, so you were involved with her. She
Yep.
went through what she had to do.
Yes.
And did you get a lot of criticism for who you were dating, or was it just one of those things that
When
kinda
it was in-house, there was no criticism as I brought more of my friends into it, and they saw the look of disappointment on my face. They didn't have the balls to tell me that I was a loser.
They didn't have the what?
The balls.
Okay.
And as it went on, maybe I was just hanging on to a dream, my friend. That's why people drink bourbon.
Why do you think that? Now, I'm kind of sensing that you're hurt still by what's going on.
Everybody gets hurt when they don't have a relationship anymore, you know.
But do you think that was the right relationship for you?
Now?
Yeah.
Apparently not.
Okay. So fess up. How many times have you called her?
I haven't.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Just when we had to get the wheelchair for my dad. Well, because that was a part of the deal.
So she had your.
Well, Joe came up in the truck, and he's like, "Where's the wheelchair?" And I was like, and I knew he was going to say it the next
Did he
morning.
get back from Escanaba with what's his head?
No,
from Cliff?
he's having problems with his feet. I don't know what's going on. But what questions do you want me to answer? Because I will answer them. Taboo topic. Here we go.
Okay, taboo topic number one. Scotty Joe Vegas dates dated a jailbird. Now, the taboo topic is someone of your class, of your upbringing, of your background,
Okay.
dating somebody who may not be on your level. So what do you think was involved in that?
Hope. Making excuses. It just, when my friend told me to, what did the other person bring to the relationship, and there just wasn't that much there. Someone's having a lot of problems right now. Hopefully they get some counseling and work it out in their life and become a better person. I know I am.
See, that's
That's the truth, man. I pray for every day.
yeah. And sometimes people come into our lives for a season and for a reason, and it's
She said, she'll fly in your life. She'll fly out of your life. She'll fly back in. She'll fly back out. You'll open the door to freedom, and she'll fly away.
all right. Now talk about the other bird that came in.
And then the
is
psychic
coming
lady
out.
said this to me. She says, there'll be a birdie. He'll fly through the window and land on your shoulder. And he'll tell you everything you need to know about the certain situation that happened in the past relationship. Well, I don't really care anymore to hear the information, but the information that I got was not good. And this young man is, let's just say, what's the word? I'm not going there.
Does he wear loafers?
I don't know.
Okay.
We're way off.
So anyway, you ended up ending this, or it ended, and
Well, I gave up. I gave up because I tried. And when someone has to say, well, I'll think about seeing you again. I'm sorry, we spent 3 years and 4 months. I did some things for you, which I never rubbed in her face, but it's like, that's the way you're really going to be towards me. So I guess I just wasn't her cherry juice. So that's it.
But it's great because you made yourself emotionally available.
Oh, absolutely.
And I can learn something from that because I just feel like I'm pretty much the barrier's up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With me?
Oh, with everybody.
Well, but what I'm saying is who knows? There's a lot of good people out there. There's people that are just alone. They're lonely, and maybe one day that they'll go to the Walmart or whatever and bang into somebody, and I don't know where the hell we're going with this.
Okay. Speaking of good people,
All right.
Grandpa Joe Vegas.
All right.
This is taken where and what time?
This is taken, I would assume, about 1930, 1940s in there. My great-grandfather, who looks like me in the middle, that's this guy right here. His name was Joe DeYoung, or A.K.A.
Papa or
Great Pampy Vegas. And he had a bar on Halsted.
Where, in the city? Or
right over the bridge.
in the city? In Chicago? Or
Just
was
right,
it
like from
in the
Riverdale, over the bridge. And
Now, for people that don't know, Riverdale is
120,
it's a south side of
118th,
Chicago.
17th, somewhere in there. So he had a slaughterhouse and then he had gaming in the back. Legal
Where is he?
gaming,
This one?
illegal.
Where is he?
The guy with the pocket watch, the guy with the vest on, the guy that shouldn't. Yeah,
He looks like you. You
yeah.
look like you.
I mean, he's kind of like got the same thing, like my dad. And then he had gaming, so he would manipulate the men by giving them beer, and then they gamble and they lose, and then he'd give them some ham to take home to the old lady, for she would have something to eat during the week. And then my grandpa, who's the bartender behind the bar, his name was Garrett. He went away to jail for 2 years for bootlegging. And he was a self-made man, but I think the boys in long coats kind of helped him out. And, you don't build a trailer park on dreams.
And isn't it amazing that even back in the 30s, people had a hustle going?
Yes. And my grandpa, he did a lot of work with a lot of people. He broke down color barriers in Dixmoor because he'd take the men and he'd give them jobs. And my aunt would say that he'd pick them up in the pickup truck and says, "Hello, Mr. Young, Miss Young, good to see you." And they'd build, they'd make roads and stuff like that. And, Ringling Brothers came to this trailer park one time when before, they had hotels on every block. And the kids, they had the trapeze all up. And my Aunt Jeannie was the talk of the town. But then my dad and my brother, my dad and his brother John, they helped build that park. It's on 139th in
Western.
Well, it's not
No,
really West.
it's-
130. The Woods. What's the Woods? The Woods that are in Harvey. There.
Oh, yeah, I know. what
Yeah,
you're saying.
whatever. So I'll just go to 139th Street in Western.
Our viewers in Spain.
Yeah, they're like, what
it's
is he talking about?
It's Chicago, and yeah.
I do like to watch the music or the dance of Spain, and that's the rumba, right? The rumba's in Spain.
I don't know.
Well, that just gets me just excited.
But we have to find investors from Spain and from, well, we'll figure it out. Because I think if there's a multicultural center at the Waverton, we'll figure it all out. It'll be great.
We'll
talk a little bit more about
I know is we love everybody. We do.
Amen.
And as messed up as we both are, I mean, in our own way, because we're human. We have our areas, our fences up in some areas. Just take the time. What was that? No, that was Georgia didn't fart.
I thought somebody just did.
You didn't fart. It's okay. Honey.
All right. We'll continue talking about it when we come back after this. Welcome back to the Greg Show. I'm Greg Struss, along with Scotty Joe Vegas. You're talking about your relationship, and do you feel that there's some shame involved in that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And how do you think that you get? Do you feel that you, by sharing what you shared here on the show tonight,
Well,
that
I'll
you
tell
feel a
you,
little better?
if you're having trouble at home with a relationship or bottle or whatever, get in a small group and faith-based, and those little classes will make you'll get healed. You'll heal yourself. What was the question?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Because it's like a
I'm
hockey-
taking 2 classes now, and I wish I'd take 4 classes.
It's like a hockey player. They get into the fight. I was watching a Hawks game. They were like boom, boom.
Yeah.
So they get thrown in the box.
Yep.
But after a period of time, people come out of that penalty box.
Yes, they
So
do.
really, in life, even if you're not happy with something, there's things I'm not happy about, I got to take myself out of the penalty box. Or as you said so brilliantly and eloquently on the last show, it's like a computer. You have to
Actually,
reboot.
that's from Ron the truck driver in Winfield, Missouri. I get it.
See, it's nice. You're giving credit to.
Well, I mean, that's the people that Ron's been a good guy. And the psychic said I'd be down there, and I was.
Greg Struss, thanks for watching. We'll see you again next week. Good night, everybody.
Bye, Stymie.
Okay, so we're.